Welcome back out to another one of our chance to sit down with an athlete of the week, and we're a little bit late on this one. Unfortunately, that's on me, Caleb. DB is joining us here as he was our athlete of the week last week, and Davion, first of all, congratulations. I thought you had won it last year. First time ever, though, getting athlete of the week. What's it feel like to kind of see that name at the top of the pyramid for a week?
Oh, man, it's great. I don't remember me winning it last year, but it's great. It just pertains to all the work I put in the off season and preseason, and it's starting to finally show. And finally, I get recognized for it by you. So.
You're one of those guys that, numbers-wise, you can look at the numbers and they can see you're a big piece of this team. But you talk to everybody, you are, if not the leader of the team, you and Phoenix, it's a 60-40 split is kind of the way it's kind of fished over to that. What's it like being the leader? What's that role been like for you stepping into it this year after last year, kind of being able to watch and observe?
It's been great, of course this year we're a little more younger, a little more inexperienced. So, gotta have a little more patience with our freshmen, knowing that, they're learning and they're trying to adapt to the speed and physicality of the game. But overall, I've just learned a lot about being a better person, being a more patient person, being a more patient basketball player, understanding that, learning when to take a step back and when to take over. And so it's been a great year,
Sophomore night was a big one for you. Wasn't a career high, but it was pretty close to a career high as far as the points side of things goes. But it wasn't even the points. You had one of your most balanced games. 5 steals, had 7 assists in the game, threw in a couple rebounds as well. Was that one of those games you walked into that court that night and just knew you were going to be feeling good about the way you were playing?
Yeah. All week at practice, I just felt pretty confident and pretty good that, it was going to be it was a big game for us, regardless of the sophomore night and to get the top team in the region. But in totality, I'm coming off a little bit of an elbow injury, so my elbow was feeling good that week, and I was like, it was feeling like a good week to just showcase what I bring to the team and how I can affect the game in different ways.
It was sophomore night, we mentioned that. What's the 2 years been like for DP? If you could put it into like a journal entry of what this was like and the experience that you had here, what are things that you would want to highlight to people that would give the encapsulation of your experience?
I think the one thing that really stands out to me is definitely my growth in terms of mentality and physicality. I remember getting here, and when people talk about your welcome to college moment, our point guard Jordan last year, he was my welcome to college moment of what Jordan looks like. He's a specimen. He's a specimen. And the first 2 weeks of practice, I was just not doing well at all. It was looking bad. But then, just learning how to adapt and Jordan was really cool to talk to. I asked him questions, and he was very willingly answering the questions in a more of he knows I'm just trying to get better. It's not even trying to get a one-up on him. I'm just trying to get better as a player. And he taught me a lot of things, and I learned a lot of things just from watching him in practice and in games and just picking his brain apart. So, definitely the physicality aspect, the mentality aspect. I feel like I'm more calmer this year, more in control of what I can control and more control of my team and what we need to do to win the game instead of worrying about the refs or fans or the game plan. That stuff, I feel like I'm more in control. And I feel like this year, I've made more strides in becoming a better all-around player. Like you said, I think I had 31, 7 assists, 5 steals. Just showing that, yes, I can score, but also if I need to and if I can, in the right situation, I can become a true point guard and give you 7, 8 assists. And, I always say I'm the best defender, but 5 steals is still.
You have gone one shy of getting into that record book for steals 3 or 4 times now. 6, by the way, for those curious, is the bottom of the record book for single game.
I've had 4 of those games this year.
He's trying. He's trying. talking about trying, obviously this is all looking for next year and moving on to the next level, and you've got offers in front of you. If not offers, you at least know you have interest coming in for you. What's been the process like, and how much has coming to a JUCO helped you to know and understand what you're looking for in that four-year school?
Coming to JUCO was actually the best thing I could do, in terms of like seeing the types of guards there are out there and the type of guards that certain coaches want in their systems. Recruiting wise, it's just it's very open to anything and everything at this point. I talked to Coach this morning, and we were just kind of touching base on like what it's looking like, and what's the plan after whenever the season ends, and what his goals are for me, and what my mindset is going into recruiting. But other than that, like right now, I know it is a focus, but it's not the main focus right now. I mean, it's playoffs, and all that is occupying the mind right now. So
you read my mind, and that's the big next thing is you guys have a chance to try and do something this team hasn't had to do in a while, and that's be the underdog going into a game in the postseason. Is that kind of exciting when you obviously want to be the top dog? You want to be hosting. You want to be that guy. But is there kind of exciting going and saying, "Hey, we're the six"? Like,
no one expects us to win. I'm personally very excited.